Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to be talking about how to stay fit while working a 9 to 5 job.
And I think that mental and physical health, mental and physical vigor go hand in hand. I hope that we will not find a day in the United States when all of us are spectators except for a few who are out on the field. I hope all Americans will be on the field. That is, they will concern themselves with the education of their children, with the physical development of their children, with the participation in the vigorous life, and then also as their children get older, inculcate into them a desire to maintain that vigor through their normal life.
Alright, let's begin. My first tip would be very simple, very essential, and that's hydration. Drink your water. A lot of the times, the reason you're tired after work, the reason you're having headaches during work is that you're simply dehydrated. I've experienced this myself. Dehydration for a prolonged period of time will have serious health consequences and will of course decrease your productivity at work. Some stat that I read said that 1 to 2% increase in dehydration results in a 10 to 12% decrease in productivity. So and even serious health consequences. Let's not forget that. I drink around 3 to 4 liters of water every single day, and it varies from person to person. There's no fixed number of liters or a fixed number of amount that you need to drink of water to stay hydrated. But some symptoms you can look out for when it comes to dehydration is thirst, obviously, dry mouth, headaches, tiredness. So if you're experiencing anything like this, then probably drink some water. Your body's telling you need some water. Before I go on further, I want to say that I am not a doctor. I'm just a dude who has collected a lot of information and has applied it to himself, and it has worked for me. So I'm just putting this information out. So yeah, first tip, drink water. One nice little trick is I don't keep a bottle at the office. I keep a cup, right? So a cup has a relatively small amount of water compared to a bottle. So every time I want to drink water, I have to take the cup, walk all the way to the dispenser, which is not very far away, and then fill water and then come back. So it just kind of adds more steps. So I'm walking more throughout the day. So that's a little trick that I use. I got it from Will Tennyson's video regarding the same topic. So a great tip, try that as well. Okay, let's now focus on the actual diet. I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I'm not going to tell you what I eat because I just eat normal food. But I do want to introduce a very fundamental principle that if you don't know, then you should know when it comes to your diet and staying fit and losing weight or gaining weight or maintaining weight. And it's just a very simple concept, very fundamental concept of calories in and calories out. What that basically means is calories in meaning how much calories you're eating, calories out means how many calories you're burning. If you're eating more than you are burning, you're going to gain weight. Where is all that energy going to go? If you are burning just as much as you're eating, then you are maintaining weight. And if you're burning more than you are consuming, then you will be losing weight. Simple as that. Now let's apply that to a typical working environment, right? So in a normal working environment, what have you got? You've got a couple of birthdays during the month. So you have cakes and you've got snacks, which are usually very high in calories. And once in a couple of months, you've got your colleague whose mothers, sisters, nephews, mother-in-law's friend has gotten married, so they've got sweets for you, and you can't be the person who says no thank you, I'm on a diet. No, you don't want to be that person. So actually you don't want to be that person in any special occasion, right? It's just being a jerk. So you don't want to reject those. So these things are going to happen. You really cannot avoid these, but you can work around these by being disciplined in the times where there are no special occasions, so which is a bulk of your work life. What I'm trying to say is in your normal day-to-day work life, when you're snacking or when you're eating, choose foods that are higher in volume so they keep you satiated and lower in calories. So what you're essentially doing is you're filling yourself up, but at the same time you're not consuming as many calories. So an example would be switching your desk snack from Doritos to rice cakes. There's a huge difference between the calories, but at the same time a couple of rice cakes will fill you up just as much as a packet of Doritos. nothing, I've got no beef with Doritos, by the way. I love Doritos. One more thing you could do is avoid eating out as much as you can in your day-to-day work life. So if it is lunch or if it's a dinner that you do after you come back from work, just avoid eating out as much as you can, because suppose you say you have a double cheeseburger, 2 of them and a couple of fries with a Coke, right? That's 700 calories to 1,000 calories easy. And if you had a nice chicken wrap instead, with vegetables and chicken breast and low calorie alternatives of sauces, that would have been like 400 to 500 calories. So you're potentially saving on 500 to 600 calories. So you're eating more, but at the same time you're not consuming as many calories. So it's going to be easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit, meaning that it's going to be easier for you to burn more than you've consumed, which means you will be losing weight. It's not very complicated. Just remember calories in, calories out. Pack your lunch as much as you can. Eat home food. It's not very complicated. Trust me, research is so easy now. You just have to Google things, how many calories in this versus that. And when you're snacking, just Google how many usually it's just behind the packet. There's a label which has these pieces of information which you can find out pretty easily and have a very rough estimate of how much you're consuming, and then tune it accordingly. So now you've got your diet dialed in. So you're packing your lunch, you're eating good foods, you're eating foods that are higher in volume and lower in calories, so they keep you satiated and are easier, and it's easier for you now to stay in a calorie deficit, again, which means you're burning more than you're eating. So you're staying in a calorie deficit. So let's talk about working out now. So working out, I'm going to divide it into 2. I'm going to divide it into cardio, and I'm going to divide it into resistance training, weights, body weight, whatever. For cardio, you want to look at workouts that burn a large amount of calories relatively in a shorter period of time, because if you're working a 9 to 5, you're going to be tired. You can't go to the gym for an hour and a half or 2 hours every single day. And if you've got kids, if you've got a wife, you've got a family, is what I mean, you have even less time to work out, maybe 30 to 40 minutes every single day. So you really got to be careful with what exercises you choose, because you want to burn the most amount of calories, right? If you want to be on maintenance or be in a calorie deficit. Here's what I do. On the days that I'm doing cardio, I do skipping or jumping rope for around 30 to 40 minutes. It does work great for me. Skipping is one of the most calorie intensive exercises that you can do. It burns a lot of calories, and some stat I read somewhere said 10 minutes of jumping rope is equivalent to 30 minutes of running. And I don't know how true that is, but I just know that I have fun jumping rope, and it burns a ton of calories, and it helped me lose 20 kgs in the past, and has been helping me maintain that and keep that weight off till now, since I've been working a 9 to 5 for a few months now. Other high calorie intensive exercises could include skipping, running, swimming, all that stuff, playing some sports. So you can of course Google these. Do your research is what I would recommend. If you really want to get fit, go beyond this video from what I'm telling you, because I'm just talking from experience and it differs from person to person. So do your research, try things out. That's most important. Every person has their own set of things that works for them. So try these things out for a couple of months and make an informed decision. And it's all about experimenting, and you will find what works for you. When it comes to resistance training, I don't really go to the gym. I don't lift weights, but I've got a pair of kettlebells and Olympic rings that I use, and it works just fine for me. I feel great, and that too for 30 to 40 minutes on the days that I'm doing resistance training. And it begins with a 10-minute warm-up with cardio, which is usually either a 3-kilometer run or some skipping. So that's what you want to be doing, right? So now you've got your diet dialed in, your workout dialed in. Now this is the most important, and this wasn't on my list. I can't believe I forgot about it, but I just remembered it, and that's sleep. You need to sleep. I mean, every time you're damaging your body when you're working out, you need to recover from it, and that's what sleep is for. From what I've seen, many people, they get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Myself, on some days I get 5 to 6 hours of sleep, but sleep is so crucial. Recommended amounts by doctors are 7 to 9 hours. I try to get 8, between 7 to 8, and sleep more, and that's where your gains will come from. That's where the result of all your hard work is going to materialize, is the word I'm going to use. So do your research, and there are so many people that have researched this and spend their whole lives studying these things. So I recommend that you go into and you look into these in a deeper context, in a much more informed way, so that you can make an informed decision. And so much information, and once you have access to this much information and you have that much knowledge, you can really use that knowledge and use it in your personal life. What I see a lot of times is, and I've done this myself, we try to replicate the exact same diets and exact same workouts as the celebrities that we see on TV, on the influencers that we see on social media. And the truth is that those work for them. Those methods or those programs might not necessarily work out for us, and no pun intended. What we need to look at is how our bodies work and how our bodies react to things. And for that we need knowledge. We don't need a surface level workout program of what this person or that person does. Is what we need to do for ourselves, and that only comes from a deeper understanding of these concepts, a deeper understanding of how the body works, and how food, water, sleep, exercise influences the functions of our body, and how to burn fat, how to gain muscle, all these things. And once you know these things, changing your body becomes much easier. And I'm not saying that today you're going to read some article and tomorrow you're going to know everything. No, it takes a few months, might take years, right? A lot of people spend their whole lives working these things out, but without taking the first step, you're never going to get to the second, and without taking the second, you're never going to get to the 100th, right? I mean, so on and so forth, whatever. So yeah, do your own research. So and here's what I do in terms of diet, workout, and sleep. Hope you learned something from this video. I'll obviously link some really good resources for your information down in the description, so please do check them out. I've myself made a video on sleep, which I will also link below, and it'll show up at some point in the video on the top right here. So do check them out, and thank you for watching. I appreciate every time somebody comments, every time somebody shares or messages me that the video is good. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing, and I will see you next time.